So I have a 0 overall team, and after every single win, I'm going to add 1 player to this team. Now you might be thinking, well, that's impossible. You're never going to win a game with a 0 overall team. And you would be 100% right with that. So after every season where I go 0-82, I'm going to add 1 AHL player to this team. Because if I didn't do that, I would never win a single game. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate through this first season, and we'll see how the team does. Obviously, we already know they're going 0-82. So when the season came to an end, Jordan NHL is going to lead the way. He's going to be minus 384. So that gives you an idea of what this team's working with and how long this video is going to take. Oh yeah, and obviously we went 0-82. Shouldn't have to show that. Austin Matthews is leading the way with 53 goals and 51 assists for 104 points, while Quinn Hughes is going to lead all defensemen with 16 goals and 62 assists for 78 points. And Alexander Georgiev, he's going to be the goaltender with the most wins. He's picking up 48 while posting a 921 save percentage and a 225 goals against. When the playoffs came around, the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to defeat the Calgary Flames in 5 games. Not gonna lie, that's pretty ironic seeing as Johnny Gaudreau just left the team. Also, I'm not gonna go over the stats every single season. After every season, if I went through the league leaders, the defensive leaders, and the goaltender wins, that would take forever. So I'm just gonna show stats when I see something that I think is absolutely ridiculous and I need to show you guys. Since we're adding AHL players after every 0-82 season, I thought for the first AHL player we gotta go with Shane Wright. I forgot him in the prospect video, so I think it's only fair that I add him for this one. So once again, we're going 0-82. We're only scoring 48 goals, but we're allowing 1,004. So I think that's pretty impressive. The other thing I'm finding incredibly funny is Shane Wright's tied for second on the team in scoring with only 16 points. I understand you have terrible teammates around you, and I understand this is a terrible team in general, but 16 points, my guy, come on, you're like a 79 overall. You should at least pick up 20, especially when you're on the first line and the #1 option. Also, shout out to Darcy Kemper, who's casually picking up 10 shutouts and 40 wins, so 25% of his wins came from shutouts, and he's posting a 916 save percentage and a 234 goals against, so this dude was absolutely locked in. When the season came to an end, the Vegas Golden Knights are going to defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games, while Kirill Kaprizov's going to lead all postseason scores with 31 points while only playing in 18 games. This dude was absolutely locked in the postseason. Too bad his team couldn't win a cup. The next player I'm adding to the team is going to be Cam York. I think we could use a defenseman, and honestly at this point, no player is going to hurt the team. So we're going 0-82 once again, but you might have noticed we only allowed 650 goals this season. So you might be thinking, did Cam York have that much of an impact? He definitely had a positive impact. He's picking up 30 points, and he helped Shane Wright pick up 36, but here's the real reason we only allowed 650 goals. So in order for this video to work, I need to have a bunch of good players on the team that are healthy scratches. So the 2 players I had were Igor Shesterkin and Andrei Vasilevsky as healthy scratches for the goaltenders. The reason for that is when NHL calculates the overall of the team, they do it by forwards, defensemen, and goalies in separate sections. So if I added 2 incredibly good goalies, it helps boost the team's overall by like 20. Because if we have a team that's exactly 0 overall, the game crashes every single time because it can't comprehend the team being that bad. I wish I was joking about that, but I'm 100% serious. Luckily, I had auto rotation off for the goaltenders, so when Igor Shesterkin would get subbed into the game, we were already down by about 7 goals, so there was no way we would come back and win. In the playoffs, the Florida Panthers are going to defeat the Colorado Avalanche in 5 games, and Sergei Bobrovsky, he was incredible, a 936 save percentage and a goals against of exactly 2. If only he could put up those numbers in real life right now, because right now he's looking awful. Next player from the AHL we're going to be adding to the team is Andreas Johansson, and he's helping us take a massive step as we're going to be recording 1 point this season because we're getting an OT loss. You'd love to see it, you really do. Johansson did what he could for us, 13 goals and 23 assists for 36 points, nothing I can complain about. While the Boston Bruins, they go on to win the Stanley Cup, defeating the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games. For our next player, I'm going to select Matthew Highmore from the St. Louis Blues affiliate. It should be no surprise the Dusseldorf Dogs continue to suck as we're going 0-82 once again, but we're definitely seeing a lot of improvement from the forward core. Matthew Highmore's picking up 39 points, while Johansson's picking up 60 and Shane Wright's picking up 58. So at least this team's trending in the right direction. Taking a look at the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers are going to defeat the Carolina Hurricanes to hoist the Stanley Cup. For our next player from the Pittsburgh Penguins affiliate, I'm bringing in Ty Smith. I think we could use another defenseman, and teaming him up with Cam York, I think we could see some incredible results. I was just joking about seeing incredible results. This team is still terrible. We're going 0-82 once again. That shouldn't really be a surprise. And Ty Smith, he's going to have an alright season, picking up 4 goals and 28 assists for 32 points. Taking a look at the playoffs, we're having a fantastic matchup as the Vancouver Canucks take on the Boston Bruins, and this time Vancouver's going to come out on top and they're defeating the Bruins. And the only reason Vancouver was able to win is because of this man, Thatcher Demko, 16 wins, a 921 save percentage, and a 218 goals against. If you played slightly worse, there's not a chance you win this. After another 0-82 season, we're adding another player, and that's going to be Jacob Perreault. He's having himself a decent season, picking up 41 points with 18 goals and 23 assists, but it should be no surprise because once again we're going 0-82. In the playoffs, the Minnesota Wild are going to defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. Nikita Kucherov, this dude was absolutely locked in the postseason, 36 points consisting of 15 goals and 21 assists in 21 games. Not gonna lie, it's a shame you were unable to hoist the cup. I thought we could use another playmaker, so Philip Tomasino, welcome to the team. But it should be no surprise, your playmaking skills aren't going to be enough, and this team's going 0-82 once again. But I will say, once we win 1 game, that's going to lead to 2 wins, and then those 2 are going to lead to 4, and then those those 4 are going to lead to about 16. So once we get one NHL player, everything's going to change. Tomasino's having an alright season, 14 goals and 33 helpers for 47 points, tied for the team lead. While Thatcher Demko, 39 wins and 12 shutouts. So that means approximately 30% of the wins that Vancouver got this season came from a Thatcher Demko shutout. Give the man a bit of support, like my god. In the playoffs, the Colorado Avalanche are going to take down the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. And Georgiev, he's only going to have to play 19 games. He put up a .934 save percentage and a 194 goals against. Absolutely incredible numbers. Keep up the great work, my guy. From the Chicago Blackhawks affiliate, I'm going to be bringing in Lucas Reichel. So another AHL player means another similar result. We're going 0-82 once again. And Reichel, he's only going to pick up 36 points. Not going to lie, I was expecting a bit more from you, my guy. When the playoffs came to an end, the Winnipeg Jets are going to defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 4 games, completing a sweep. Alright, I'm going to keep it a stack. We're 9 players in and we haven't won 1 game yet. I understand this is a terrible team and we have terrible goaltending, but we can't win 1 game. Like, all we need is 1 and that will kickstart the rest of the video. And I'm not even kidding. A couple minutes after I said that, we're finally winning our first game. We're going to defeat the Buffalo Sabres in a 4-3 game, and just like that, we're 1-30, and that means I'm allowed to pick 1 player from the Buffalo Sabres. But the Dusseldorf Dogs weren't done there. They continued to roll, and we're picking up another win against the Winnipeg Jets 6-4, so that means I'm allowed to pick 1 player from Buffalo and 1 from Winnipeg. But there is one stipulation. I'm not allowed to select a goaltender until we get 5 wins in 1 season. So when the season came to an end, look at that record. It's looking phenomenal. 2-80, and that means we're getting 2 players. And shout out to Pitlick. 15 goals, 24 assists, 39 points. I don't even care if you were the guy that stepped up in these games. You're the savior of this team. And shout out to both Joe and HLs. They're both picking up a win in net. You'll love to see it. You really do. Looking at the playoff picture, Tampa Bay is winning the Stanley Cup, but who cares? We're about to get 2 NHL stars. And who are those 2 NHL stars? Of course, I'm going to bring in Tage Thompson and Kyle Connor. We need to score some goals, and both of these guys are going to help tremendously. Surprisingly though, we're actually not seeing as much success as I thought we would. We are winning 1 game, defeating the Detroit Red Wings 4-2, but that's the only win we're going to get. It should be no surprise Kyle Connor was absolutely elite this season. 30 goals and 41 helpers for 71 points, and Tage Thompson, he did his part as well, picking up 60 points. Since we beat Detroit, we need a playmaker, so Dylan Larkin, welcome to the team. But somehow with the addition of Dylan Larkin and Kyle Connor and Tage Thompson at his side, this team's not winning a game this season. Not gonna lie, I don't understand how that works whatsoever. Dylan Larkin, you are absolutely mid, only picking up 56 points, so that means we gotta run it back with this team. So technically I could have added an AHL player since we technically went 0-82, but we got NHL players on the team now, so I'm not gonna use that strategy. Incredibly late into the season, the Dusseldorf Dogs are gonna win a game. We're gonna defeat the Chicago Blackhawks in OT, so that means we're gonna be adding Patrick Kane to the team next season. Kyle Connor, you're gonna lead the team this season, 38 goals and 37 assists for 75 points, and like I said earlier, Patrick Kane, welcome to the team. I'm gonna need you to carry the way. We got to get a few more wins under our belt. And little did I know, Patrick Kane, he's going to be the savior of this team. Somehow we're defeating Vancouver 10-6. We just scored 10 goals in Vancouver. Not gonna lie, that team must be chopped, because how did we do that? And the boys kept rolling, and we ended up winning a 2nd game this season, defeating the Winnipeg Jets once again 5-4. And when you thought it was all said and done, nope. We're gonna win our 3rd game of the season, a new franchise best 3-2 against Seattle. So now we got 3 new players to welcome to the team. And none of this could have been done without Patrick Kane. 46 goals, 51 helpers, 97 points. Thanks for all the help, my guy. So here's the 3 players that I'm going to be adding to the team. I'm going to bring James Schwartz to help the forward core, and then looking at the defense, Quinn Hughes and Josh Morrissey on a line together, that should be able to secure us a couple wins. But I didn't expect us to see this amount of success. In our very first game of the season, we're going to defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 7-4, so that means I'm going to be bringing in Sidney Crosby. And just a few games later, we're going to be picking up another win, defeating the Dallas Stars 3-2. The boys kept rolling, and we're defeating the Winnipeg Jets for a 3rd time in this video, 5-3, but we're not done there. In a very high scoring game just over a week later, we're going to defeat the St. Louis Blues 7-6, and we're just 1 game away from adding a goaltender to the team. And just 3 weeks after our last win, we're getting into another high scoring affair. We're somehow coming out on top, defeating the Nashville Predators in a 9-8 game. So when the season came to an end, we're picking up 5 wins, and I'm making a very bold statement. Now that we're going to have a goaltender, and we're adding 4 other players beside that, we're making the playoffs next season. James Schwartz, out of all the newcomers, you were the most impactful. 27 goals, 36 assists, 63 points. So here's what the team's looking like heading into next season. Our newcomers on the forward core is going to be Sidney Crosby, Pavel Buchnevich, and Pierre-Luc Dubois. Looking at the defense, I'm going to bring in Miro Heiskanen to add a bit more support. And then in between the pipes, we finally got ourselves a goaltender now, and that's going to be UC Saros. And what UC Saros is about to do for this team, I don't think anyone would have been able to expect. 40, 37-5, and we're 19th in the entire league, and we're making the playoffs. This is the exact reason why I didn't add a goaltender earlier in the video. If I added a goaltender after our first 0-82 season, we probably would have won like 5 games, and this video would only be a minute long. Looking at the entire team, Patrick Kane's going to lead the way, averaging a point a game, picking up 82 points, consisting of 43 goals and 39 assists, while Quinn Hughes is going to lead the defense with 8 goals and 47 assists for 55 points. And looking at goaltenders, UC Saros, 38 wins with a .918 219 save percentage, and 238 goals against. So in the playoffs, we're going to take on the St. Louis Blues in the first round, and let's be honest, expectations are fairly low for this team. We are 19th in the entire league, and St. Louis would definitely be the favorite heading into this series. But it doesn't matter who the favorite is. Somehow we're going to take down the St. Louis Blues in 6 games, and we're completing the massive upset. And in the second round, we're going to be taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado would take a very commanding 3-1 series lead, but that doesn't mean anything. We're going to bounce back. We're going to win 3 straight games, and now we're heading to the conference finals where we're going to take on the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know how this team has made it this far, but here we are. And since we've made it this far, we might as well try to win ourselves the Stanley Cup. After winning the very first 3 games of the series, Anaheim's going to steal one away, but we're going to pot the OT winner in game 5. And just like that, we're heading to the Stanley Cup final, and we're taking on the Boston Bruins. If you told me at the beginning of this season we would reach the Stanley Cup final and be on the verge of winning a Stanley Cup, I would have laughed, because the season before we only won 5 games. We just won back-to-back games to win the Stanley Cup. The Dusseldorf Dogs are now Stanley Cup champions. How did that just happen? Sidney Crosby, you were incredible. 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points. UC Saros, normally I would say you carried the team and you're the reason we won. But 16 wins with an 897 save percentage and a 323 goals against aren't good numbers whatsoever. So how did we win? Alright, I honestly thought this video was going to take way longer, especially since we only won 5 games last season. But here we are, and we just hoisted the Stanley Cup. How did we just win when UC Saros played incredibly below average? I don't even know what's going on at this point.